Hi everyone, my name's Holly Taylor and I'm the Head of Projects at the Energy Efficiency Council. I really appreciate you joining us here today. Before we get started, I'd like to begin with an acknowledgement of country. I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land from which I am speaking today. In the spirit of reconciliation, the Energy Efficiency Council and Reed Exhibitions would like to acknowledge the people of the Kulin Nation, and we'd like to pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders that may be present today. So why are we here? Well, basically we want to get excited about the Energy Efficiency Expo in 2021. For those of you that were around in 2019, we were really happy to have launched the Energy Efficiency Expo alongside All Energy. It was a really great event in which we got to both have a lot of businesses on the floor selling their wares and really getting people excited about energy efficiency alongside the traditional renewable energy opportunities at All Energy. But in addition to the exhibition floor, we also had a really great conference. And basically what we want to talk about today is how you and your business can benefit from being involved in the Energy Efficiency Expo in 2021. So with that in mind, I'd really like to invite Robbie Clark, who is the Portfolio Director at Reed Exhibitions. So Robbie's in charge of the Energy Efficiency Expo and indeed All Energy, and is here today to tell us about how really this is a big tentpole feature of the energy efficiency and indeed the energy sector in terms of events in the year, and how we're really looking forward to get back into a room after what realistically for most of us has been 2 years, because after the Energy Efficiency Expo in October 2019, there weren't that many events until we went into lockdown. So we're really looking forward to being able to get back in a room again in a couple of months. So over to you, Robbie.
Thanks very much, Holly. Thanks so much for the introduction. You're absolutely right. We're desperately keen to get back to the normal and face-to-face events, which I'll cover off a little bit about that during my brief presentation. So I'm just going to quickly screen share, if that's okay, just my presentation. Just stand by for one moment. Hopefully I'll get this right. Holly, can you confirm that's come up for me?
Only issue is we are looking at your speaking notes rather than...
yeah.
So
thankfully, you
black screen.
Perfect. Is that better now?
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Robbie.
Wonderful. Thanks very much. You gave me the lead before. So yeah, look, today I wanted to just give everyone a bit of an update of where we're at, not only on Energy Efficiency Expo, but also the event sector as a whole. As a brief introduction, Robbie Clark is my name. I'm the Portfolio Director, and as Holly mentioned, I oversee the energy and waste and recycling portfolio within Reed Exhibitions, and also the conference production side of things as well. Across the business. Reed Exhibitions, who recently rebranded to RX Global, is a global event organiser, an exhibition and events organiser, and our Australian business here organises about 20 odd events across all sorts of different industry sectors. So with that in mind, we've obviously gone through quite a tumultuous year with the impact from COVID. We were fortunate enough to, here in New South Wales and in Sydney, to run some events at the beginning of the year under the COVID conditions. So what was really interesting about that, in particular, they were in the medical sector and in the gift and retailing sector. The three events that we managed this year were exceptionally successful for the exhibitors and the visitors who attended. There was a really strong demand from our visitors and exhibitors to get back to face-to-face events. So it was a wonderful thing to see us get our business back up and off the canvas again. We've also external to our business, we were getting lots of fantastic feedback from all sorts of industry sectors about the successes they were having with their live events this year. as we currently stand, of course, here in New South Wales, we are facing a lot of difficulties. So that hopefully our government can get on top of that, and we can get back to business as soon as possible. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about is a little bit about the origins of Energy Efficiency Expo. As I mentioned, we are the organisers of All Energy Australia, and we acquired that event in 2009 and have been successfully running that and growing that renewable energy event for a number of years now. We did some research around about 2017. Some feedback was coming back through our post-event surveys that we were perhaps missing a section in particular around the space of energy management, and so we started doing some research and in that space, and about 47% of our All Energy Australia visitors indicated to us that they were very, very interested in energy efficiency space, and 92% of them said to us that they would be very interested in an adjacent energy efficiency event. So with that in mind, we started engaging with the Energy Efficiency Council around about this time, and as we sort of got closer to refining our concept launch, we discovered very quickly that the EEC were a very valuable partner in all of this and a great contributor as they were to our launch event. So we got the event off the ground in 2019. So I'm just going to play a very quick video for you. Just stand by one moment. Just a little bit of a quick flavour of what the event covered off in 2019. So the results from 2019 is we attracted 1,521 unique visitors to Energy Efficiency Expo. During that process of running the event, we also had around about 8,000 visitors, just under 8,000 visitors who crossed over into the event. So the 1,500 visitors were unique visitors who actually came to the Energy Efficiency Expo itself. In addition to that, we had about 8,000 visitors who crossed over into the event from the co-located events, All Energy Australia and Waste Expo Australia. During that registration process for All Energy Australia, about 3,000, just under 4,000 people said that they were interested in energy management, energy efficiency products at the event. And we discovered from that through one of the lead capturing processes that I'll talk about at the end of this, is that we had about 1,000, over 1,000 visitors from the co-located events who connected with our exhibitors at Energy Efficiency Expo. The results were quite overwhelming in 2019 for a lot of the exhibitors. We had a fantastic satisfaction rate of 96%, and our exhibitors, through our lead tracking app that we provide, actually we indicated a average of 60 sales leads that were given to each of those exhibitors on average. A fantastic result especially for a launch event. So just a little bit about the attendees to All Energy Australia. So 87% of the visitors who attended the very first launch event were satisfied with the event, and 85% of them said that they were very likely to revisit the next event that we held. 70% of our visitors spent 4 hours or more at the event, which is also a fantastic result. As you can see there, about 80% of our local event attendees come from the state in which we run the event. What we tend to find is as the event matures, that number as a percentage comes down. To give you a comparison, for All Energy Australia, it's 68% of the attendees come from Victoria. But given that's the first year, we're very, very pleased with the results in the first year. Just to give you a bit of a flavour here of the top 10 trade visitors by nature of business, our biggest group are the consultancy space, followed by engineering and government and local government and government agencies. Then we get down to sort of the practical people which is the whole concept behind this event, was to try and introduce this to people who would practically apply it, building, construction, manufacturing, education, training, installers, and commercial businesses as well. Our top 10 trade visitors by job title, of course, consultants are at the top of that list there. Decision makers are a very important part of any attendance to a trade show. And then, of course, that commercial manager, business manager, sales manager space. And there's some more areas there, again, when we get down to the practical engineering, account managers, engineers and training and consultants. We do a CAB audit of all of our events, and at the end of 2019, we do an independent CAB audit. And at any point in time, if you wish to see that document, we're very happy to share that with you, so you can see a full breakdown of all of the categories outside of those top 10. All of our exhibitors, as a part of their participation, we actually provide a lead tracking app, which we've called Imperia. It's a very easy to use application. Basically, what you do is you use your mobile phone to scan the attendees, and their contact details are uploaded onto the app for you to follow up at a later time and make notes to that record. All the data is collected on the cloud, so there's no risk of loss of data as well. We also do other things to try and make your life a bit easier and also promote your business. We do proactive matchmaking, business matchmaking as well, at the point of registration, pre-event registration, also on site. So it's basically like a recommendation. So as the visitor attends the event, they select, I'm interested in heating and cooling systems, then we would actually send that visitor a recommendation to come and see exhibitors that match that same category as well. We also offer stand construction options and furniture packages to try and make your life a bit easier when it comes to participation. Again, all of this information I can send to you at any point in time. We're now in the sort of planning phases now for the 2021 event, and in particular around the space of our conference content. We've recently conducted some surveys to our previous attendees to try and find out what are the issues and topics they'd like us to see covered in 2021. And in addition to that, we've also conducted recently a call for speakers process, which yielded just over 20 odd speaker entries, covering all sorts of sort of headline topics such as policy and reform, schemes, incentives, standards, smart cities, EV infrastructure, DER and net zero future. And then from the exhibition sort of side of things, so what we do is we provide an on-floor theatre as well. And we've been receiving requests to cover subject matter such as heating and cooling systems, smart buildings, technologies, LED lighting advancements, etc. We use this as an opportunity for you to showcase your technologies. So if you are interested in exhibiting with us, we'll also offer you that opportunity to showcase your technologies in an educational format as well. So that's just a bit of an update on All Energy, Energy Efficiency 2021 and where we sort of came from.
Awesome. Thanks, Robbie. I think what's really useful to note is from 2019, it wasn't just a case of having an expo that was full of energy wonks or people in the energy industry or people that work for government. You actually had really good numbers of people from the manufacturing and buildings industry, which are pretty key, definitely to the Energy Efficiency Council's members and indeed the energy services industry as a whole. And I think that's probably the thing to really note is that you're talking about being on an exhibition floor where you've actually got manufacturers and builders and building managers managers that are looking for the latest and greatest in technology and opportunities. And it's really great to see that, it's not just the exhibition floor. They can also go and get a touch from the bit of insight from the conference that is alongside, and indeed the networking opportunities. But having noted the fact that there are a lot of opportunities to create leads by being on the Energy Efficiency Expo exhibition floor, I think it's probably really useful to introduce Grant Hadamosa, who's the General Manager of Zen Ecosystems. So for those of you that aren't aware, Zen Ecosystems delivers sustainability as a service for SMEs and households around Australia. And Grant was one of the many business leaders that was involved in the Energy Efficiency Expo in 2019. And we've invited him here today to give you a bit of a flavour for how the Energy Efficiency Expo supported Grant and Zen Ecosystems with continuing their work. So over to you, Grant.
Thanks, Holly. And again, thanks everyone for your time. So I think that's what Holly had said, and a quick background on Zen Ecosystems. So we are a Melbourne-based business. We started a business around 5 years ago, but we've primarily been focusing our effort for that past 5 years in growing the business in North America. So after successfully kind of having a foothold in North America, we then started to say, let's look back at our own home turf and actually start to make sure that the message and what value we're adding to our target customers is actually being heard. And we look at all the events that is available and what is that platform where both the customers and would-be partners, because we do rely heavily on partnerships, would actually be congregating. And that's where we have selected the Energy Efficiency Expo to be that event. And back in 2019, not many companies have known that Zen provides a cloud-based energy management solution that can help in their sustainability programs. Most of them think that we are providing just a climate control thermostat product. So that was really where we wanted to focus that messaging, and to also focus that our solution will add value. Either you are a facility management business looking at adding new services to your business, or you're a sustainability program manager trying to tap on your revenue streams, trying to reduce your greenhouse gas emissions. So, and I would be very happy to say that without that event, 2019 would have been a very dull year for us. But because we had run that event in 2020 would have been a very dull year for us. Because we have run the event in 2019, it helped us build that backlog of potential customers, and we have actually signed most of them in 2020 and started to work on projects with them. And when I say customers, like we have met people not necessarily on this specific space, like we have program managers in retail out in the retail sector who's just starting to get their sustainability program running, and they saw that this event is where they could meet partners, we could meet suppliers like us, to allow them to accelerate those programs. So it's a good spot where you could meet possible partners in the future to build up your portfolio of products and services, but also a spot where you could actually also meet those customers that you're looking to really make sure that your messaging goes out there. So I would say we are very happy with the outcome of 2019, so much so that we are going to also be back there in 2021. Not only to showcase our product, but also to showcase how our product has actually benefited our customers throughout 2020.
Awesome. Thanks, Grant. It's really great to see how much being involved in the Energy Efficiency Expo supported Zen with, lead development and doing what you do best, which is supporting SMEs and households with managing their energy consumption and really reducing their energy costs and indeed their impacts on the environment. So with that in mind, I'd probably like to introduce Robbie back to the stage as well, or the stage to the virtual forum in which we're all meeting. So as many of you may be aware, the Energy Efficiency Expo, and indeed All Energy alongside it, has an exhibition floor, but it also has a conference. And one thing that we're really excited about is the fact that you don't just have the opportunity to be involved in the exhibition floor, you've also got the opportunity to be involved in the conference. So there's a couple of different ways in which we do that. So I've had a few chats with Robbie and the team, as have my colleagues at the Energy Efficiency Council, and we're really excited that we're going to be running 3 different streams at this year's Energy Efficiency Expo and Conference. So the first is on technology, where we're really going to be deep diving into different technology areas. So, you know, the obvious opportunities here are things like heat pumps and HVAC, but don't worry, we're not forgetting things like building envelope. As a secondary piece to that, of course, we're running a policy and energy systems stream, noting that some of you might be missing an in-person National Energy Efficiency Conference. We definitely want to make sure that there is some policy chops to talk about. And the third thing that we'll be doing is actually on the exhibition floor, so alongside all of the stalls that our members and the wider energy services community will be involved in, there's actually a conference floor on the exhibition floor where we'll be talking directly with businesses that are leading in the energy transition. So we're going to have a series of sessions for manufacturers, office-based businesses, government agencies and local councils, and then thirdly, agriculture. And what's really important is alongside that, we're effectively going to have a session where we've got businesses that are leading in this space, that have already done the upgrades, encouraging their peers to do the same so that they can reap those financial and environmental and other benefits. But after that, we're going to be inviting our exhibitors to come up for a couple of minutes and talk about explicitly their solutions that can support manufacturers or that can support office-based businesses. So by becoming an exhibitor at the Energy Efficiency Expo, you've also got that opportunity to get involved on the stage with myself and other people from the Energy Efficiency Council to talk about how your solutions can actually support those businesses with making the change. So what I would encourage you all to do is ask any questions via the Q&A function. And indeed, we've already had a question from Cecilia at Sealy International regarding who can exhibit. Robbie, I might let you verbally answer that in the first instance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's more than EEC members, Celia. I think I'll just write back to you on that one too. No, we would encourage anyone within the sector to participate in the event if you have relevant products in the space. As Holly mentioned, we not only do we want to sell you an exhibition space so you can talk to customers, but it's also about you getting your message out there as much as possible about your business. This is a launch event. This is an event that we want to continue to grow. So we want to do as much as we can to support the exhibitors, whether it be through additional marketing or indeed any sort of content and conference style, seminar style programming that we can do on site at the event as well to help you promote your products.
Awesome. Thanks, Robbie. Before I go to Danielle's question, I maybe just want to address the potential elephant in the room, which is, what is Reed's approach should we be in a position where the Energy Efficiency Expo and All Energy aren't able to go ahead because of COVID restrictions?
Yeah, I mean, sadly, we've obviously faced a bit of that this year. Like I mentioned, our business runs 20-odd events per year, and we've had to either postpone or cancel quite a few, especially in 2020. So in the case of having to cancel an event, any exhibitor who has committed to us would get a full refund of any money that they spend with us. So, there's not that much risk when it comes to participating in events should we have to cancel the event. What we've been doing lately for this year, we've been moving our events to other event dates that are suitable for the industry and also based on availability with the venues. And so far, in most cases, literally 90+% of our exhibitors go with us on that journey because of the importance of trying to get back to business. So they're the sort of two things we're doing should the event be impacted. In terms of running events in a COVID friendly sort of environment, again, it was all a bit daunting in the early days, especially in 2020 when we were sort of thinking, how do we do this? But once we got going and experimented with our COVID safe event plan and protocols, it's ended up being not too dissimilar to like you'd see if you went to a shopping mall in reality. There is physical distancing encouraged at the entrance areas and the exit areas and registration space. And we also have a lot of tracing as well. As you can well imagine, the venues themselves are owned by state governments. So there's actually QR code scanning at the entry points to the venue. Should the regulations dictate that we have to have face masks, then we have face masks not only available there, but also encourage people to wear them. And then, of course, increased hygiene areas as well. We have, sanitizer stations, hand washing instructions in the lavatories, etc. Regular cleaning of high touch areas, and then deep clean after the end of the day as well. High touch areas. So we've become pretty attuned to running events now during COVID. So we've got all those things in place nowadays.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Robbie. I think what's probably also a really important thing to note is the stat that you put up earlier about the fact that 80% of the visitors in 2019 were from Victoria. So if there is any concern there about the fact that, if there are problems in other states that we're not going to get the numbers, we actually had a really substantial chunk of people coming from Victoria as well. So provided we're in a good position, we're good to go ahead, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You're in a good position to go ahead, and most trade shows, sort of get anywhere between that sort of, as I mentioned before, sort of 60 to 80% is the local attendee. So you do get the bulk, the lion's share of local visitors.
Awesome. Thanks, Robbie. Grant, I probably just want to chuck one question in to you now. It seems like to me, from what Robbie said, noting that there's no, if we don't go ahead, that there's a full refund available, it makes sense to sign up now because you're getting extended periods of advertising that you're involved. Are you able to give us just a bit of insights as to why Zen Ecosystems jumped on board so early?
I think it's primarily just the success that we have seen last year, on 2019. So that one was really the key motivator for us. The other thing is what you've said, Holly, is that the Robbie's team has been very kind of hand-holding us in terms of getting our brochures out, making sure we're communicating, and there's a lot of opportunities there to really get that messaging out. So at the end of the day, we feel that being in early allows us to maximize the time that we could get our messaging out, how multiple touch points, not just on that event, but also during the course of the event. So not just on the day of the event. So yeah, that's the reason why we sign up early.
Awesome. Thanks, Grant. Mm-hmm. So with that, I might repeat one of the questions from our attendees, which is from Danielle O'Reilly, who's asked, who do we contact about the conferences and speaking opportunities? So Robbie, I'm assuming that's you and Isabella, but I'll hand back to you.
Yeah, look, absolutely. If you can contact me, I think probably the best thing to do is to share my details. We do have a large team of people working on all different parts of the event, and so I'll make sure I filter that down to the appropriate people. But yeah, absolutely, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to have a conversation with you about your requirements, your needs, and I can point you in all the right directions. And thank you, Grant, for what you said. We try very hard to support new exhibitors throughout the process, because we do realise it can be quite daunting. When you walk into that exhibition hall for the very first time and you're there with hundreds of other exhibitors, if you're counting all the co-located events like Waste Expo and All Energy Australia next door, we nearly fill the entire Melbourne Convention Exhibition Centre, and you can feel like quite a small fish in a very big pond. So with our new events and our new exhibitors, we all work very hard to try and support you. So feel free to keep asking us questions.
And I can also say that as the Energy Efficiency Expo, we obviously also exhibit within the Energy Efficiency Expo. So as the Energy Efficiency Council, apologies, that was a bit of a slip of the tongue. So the EEC is also exhibiting, and Robbie and his team are absolutely wonderful to work with to think of ways to optimise it. So earlier, Cecilia asked a question about, is it just EEC members that are involved in the exhibition floor? And Robbie pointed out that's not the case. But one of the things that we definitely do in our stall is we effectively run a little program where we're encouraging people to go and visit our members to go on the prize for a draw. So there's lots of ways in which we all work together to try and get more people on the exhibition floor. One key lesson that we learned last time is that some of those business focused sessions really should be on the exhibition floor next to your opportunities, which goes into Danielle's question about the speaking opportunities. On that floor, we're really looking for really quicker explainers as to why your technology supports a manufacturer or a local government. And through that, we're encouraging people to walk the very short distance from your presentation to your stall. And that's an important thing to note, that when you're having a chat with Robbie and other people in his team, that you can talk about saying, we just really want to drive home the technology, or no, we're actually really interested in some of those thought leadership pieces around what's happening in policy and what's happening with the energy systems. So that's a useful piece of framing. And indeed, if you want to be having a conversation about that as an EEC member, we're happy to have those conversations with you as well. So don't hesitate to reach out to me or my colleague Katie Daly, who's hidden behind the scenes at present. So in addition to that, Cecilia's asked another question about how people can get additional information on pricing and on-the-ground support. Katie Bartrop from our team has posted well, she's answered live. Robbie, do you just want to reiterate that again, pretty please?
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. Contact me. I'll make sure I point you in the right direction. And I think Katie's just put up on the screen my email details and my mobile phone. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure we'll probably share my contact details with everyone who's attended today as well. And I'd just like to just sort of touch on what Holly just said. Every exhibitor, every participant in an event has a different agenda. So we do try to, like Holly said, we try to customize based on what your needs and requirements are. In some cases, they are literally just trying to find sales leads so they can promote their product to end users. But in sometimes it's much more in depth than just that. You know, they might have other messages they might want to share with specific sectors. So again, if you can share with us what your objectives are, we can work really hard to try and make sure that we meet those for you.
And that's probably the other thing to note, that, yeah, there are people that are here purely for leads, but there are people that are here because they want to learn more and demonstrate their business leadership through the conference part of the program. But there's also that networking perspective. So as with previous years, Robbie, you're having a drink session for all energy in the Energy Efficiency Expo immediately after day one. And that's complimentary for everyone to attend.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the three pillars of what we do is the exhibition, the education, and then the networking. You know, that's the sort of the fun bit, if you like. And so we'll be having a grand networking event where we invite all of the exhibitors and the visitors to come along from All Energy and Energy Efficiency Expo at the end of the first day to attend that event. And we tend to find that there's a lot of other sort of splinter. I feel like a lot of other sort of networking events that take place during the event as well. So, and you will catch wind of those via social media, or will be invited by other exhibitors to attend. So it's a fast and furious 2 days of the event. But yeah, you meet a lot of contacts during those 2 days, as Grant touched on.
And speaking of other splinter events, immediately following the General All Energy and Energy Efficiency Expo drinks, the Energy Efficiency Council will also be holding a specific energy efficiency drinks and nibbles event that we'd invite people to come along to, which probably won't be definitely won't be as big as the sheer amount of people that you get in the All Energy bullpen, but really looking forward to being able to connect with people again. And it's, you know, it is really important to note that whilst there have been a couple of events that have come up this year, and indeed the Energy Efficiency Council has managed to get in some member lunches in Melbourne and Sydney and Adelaide, we haven't really done big events, whether they're forums or conferences, since 2019. And the opportunity to get together and work with your colleagues and look at new opportunities, whether they're in technology or in energy systems, is really quite exciting, and something that we at the Energy Efficiency Council are really looking forward to, and having it as a lead up to getting back on to a in real life conference, National Energy Efficiency Conference in May in 2022. So really looking forward for that opportunity to have both, all the exhibition and the Energy Efficiency Expo conference, and also the networking. So I note at this point that there's no other questions, and I'm assuming everybody's pretty clear on next steps. If you want to learn more about exhibiting, please get in touch with Robbie via the details that have been put in the chat. If you want to learn more about opportunities to work with the Energy Efficiency Council alongside the Energy Efficiency Expo, please get in contact with myself or Katie Daly, and Katie will put our details in the chat now. Grant, do you have any final comments that you want to make about the Energy Efficiency Expo and where Zen Ecosystems is looking to go in the end of 2021 and beyond?
Yeah, so I think the final one is really, I look forward to meeting, I think, familiar faces again. It's been a year, more than a year, since we have done face-to-face, and also just additional collaborations. And if there's anyone interested to collaborate, to partner, or have programs that you want us to work with you, get in touch with me. I'll share you my details as well. But yeah, looking forward to meeting everyone at the Expo.
Awesome. Thanks, Grant. And that's a really good point to note. As an industry association with a lot of different members, a lot of our members do work and collaborate together. They're servicing different parts of the value chain. And because of that, there's really good opportunity to collaborate. And in addition, there's a lot of upgrades that need to happen to get Australia on its journey to net zero. So really looking forward to seeing more of our members, and indeed the wider energy services industry, working together to support that transition and to help businesses and households with cutting their electricity and gas costs. So Robbie, is there anything else that you'd like to add as we're near the end of the session?
Yeah, look, I guess for me and for everyone who works in our business at RX Global, we are passionate. We get up in the morning getting very excited about running these events. We are literally, as per our catchphrase, we are in the business of building businesses. So anything we can do to help you grow your business through our events and through our contact points, we will do the absolute best we possibly can. So don't be a stranger, reach out to me, tell me what you want to achieve, and we'll see what we can do to help you.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Robbie. In the business of building businesses is what we're all here for. So with that in mind, we're really looking forward to seeing you all on Wednesday 27 and Thursday 28th of October in Jeff's Shed in Melbourne, the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre, for any of you that aren't familiar with Victoria. But really looking forward to getting involved with more people and planning as we're moving forward and having a bit of fun at the end of October. If you've got any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Robbie, Grant, Katie, or myself directly. But with that in mind, I'll let you all reclaim 5 minutes of your day, and looking forward to seeing you in person soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Grant. Thanks, Holly.
Thanks, guys.